What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Chase, aka CR Media. Apologize, my voice is a little raspy. Been been burning the midnight oil the past few days, guys. So
What's going on, guys?
What's up, fellas?
how we doing this morning, gentlemen?
I'm
Uh,
a little under the weather myself.
I'm recovering from pneumonia, but I'm on my 4th day of antibiotics, so I'm here.
I'll tell you what, Jeremy, I feel you, man. We sponsored. So a couple weekends ago, we made a 3-hour trip for a wrestling show. Me and my co-host on the I-70 hot tag, and then we went to Wichita, Kansas, which is about 3 hours from Kansas City. And lost my voice, screaming. Then had an event that we sponsored the next day, so of course I was hooting and hollering there. And I just thought it was like laryngitis from me straining my voice, yelling. I'm I don't know if you boys know or not, but Arrowhead's the loudest stadium in the world, and
Arrowhead 1, Seahawks Stadium 2.
Yes, thank you,
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy, my man.
It's not a joke. It's scientifically proven.
Yep.
When Arrowhead's at its loudest,
I'll fight any Seahawks fan that says differently.
Arrowhead at its loudest has hit 127 decibels. The loudest I've ever seen Seahawks is 118.
142. 142.
For Chiefs.
Yep, we hold.
I'm saying that I have seen personally watching the games. Yep. The loudest I've seen is 127. The loudest I've seen for Seahawks was 118.
Yep. Look at Ty's in here this morning. He said, "Never go to Wichita. That's why you got sick." Man, I'll tell you what. So then, I went to Wichita. So I thought it was just like laryngitis.
I'm gonna put a little emphasis on that one. It depends on what you do in Wichita and why you get sick.
Yeah, heard that.
Just saying.
Blue City Empire Sports says, breaking news by Ian Rappaport: OBJ will be visiting New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys after Thanksgiving.
Well, they are two contenders. It definitely isn't the Rams. He's not going to the Rams. I called that as soon as they started losing repeatedly. And I also said before the season, and so far it's true, that the Rams pick will be lower than the Lions pick this year.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I could not care less where OBJ goes.
I don't either, because he's only going to be available for probably 4 games and possibly the playoffs. Exactly. So there's no fantasy value there. It's going to help that team, but it's not going to help him.
Precisely. Gentlemen, for those that don't know, for those who may be tuning into this show for the first time, what we like to do is we call it the Sunday morning drive. And what we do is we drive down the gridiron for the Sunday football games, talk about what's happening, and talk about, our predictions and whatnot. The first game I've got on the docket, gentlemen, is going to be the Chicago Bears, the 3-7 Chicago Bears, against the 4-6 Atlanta Falcons.
Hey, before you go into the, I gotta toot my horn for last week.
Washington.
We gave them Eagles a little clipping. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
You guys made the right defensive adjustment midway through the first quarter, and it showed.
Yeah, I was like, man. So
and that's what makes the NFL that's what makes the NFL so good about it being the NFL. Number one, in the 100-year existence of the NFL, only one team has gone completely undefeated. That was 50 years ago. Number one. Number two, the schedules weren't as long then. So the idea that it could happen is just crazy. But then also, to the Commanders' credit, you've got a division rival, primetime game. Those are the games that that are tough. So
and it was your great backup QB that I said would be a better starter than Wentz prior to the season.
Yeah, they just said that he's going to be the starter for the rest of the season, barring his performance and everything like that. So, I mean, that's the right choice to make because when
That's politely saying Wentz is trash and Heineke's better.
Yeah, in a nutshell.
Which is something that we all knew ahead of time because Wentz has PTSD still from when Big Dick Nick stole the Super Bowl from him.
Chase, you there? You having audio trouble?
Oh, well, no, I was I just realized my headphones weren't working.
Oops.
Oh well.
But they look good on there.
Yeah, no, heard that. Chat, give me a heads up. Is there an echo on my end?
It's
No.
it's like a little delay a little bit, but not echo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So getting into that game, like I said, the 3-7 Chicago Bears and the 4-6 Atlanta Falcons.
Mm.
The only team that tackles worse than Chicago is Atlanta. I got Chicago winning this game because I trust Fields running more than Mariota's arm.
Yeah, I actually was leaning towards it because I'm in every game, every week now is more of a playoff thinking mentality for me. Watching how the playoff play out because Atlanta is right there. You know what I'm saying? They could be easy 5-6 if they win today. And then with the matchup against Washington next week, and say Washington wins, I think they'd be 6-5. So that has playoff implications for it. So, and then the Chicago win, they won't be too far behind for trying to make it to the playoff, but I don't think they will. But I'm gonna pick Chicago just because I need them to beat the Falcons.
I'm gonna go with Chicago as well. I think that I don't think the Falcons offense there's nobody on the Falcons offense that makes me go, okay, they're gonna score some points.
I mean, the only guy that really scores for them other than Cordarrelle Patterson is Drake London because Kyle Pitts is allergic to the end zone. He is the tight end's version of Julio Jones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and so that's I'm going to stick with my prediction or with the common prediction here as well, and go with Chicago as well. Clean sweep, boys.
Yes, sir.
Hey, by the way, who had the Titans beating Green Bay?
You did.
I think so. I think did you have Titans beating
Yeah,
Green Bay?
yeah.
Good.
I got my sheet of integrity right here with all the little black marks next to the teams. So I just go down that and I stick with it for the show because if I picked them for the pick'ems where I'm 99-51 so far this season.
Nice.
99.
I'm having a good year.
I see that. Oh, Chase, go ahead, Chase. Let it out.
I thought I had to. The next match we're looking at, gentlemen, is the 3-7 Carolina Panthers against the 6-3 Baltimore Ravens.
Oof. And they're in Baltimore, so I see Carolina staying at 3 wins.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do anything else.
Yeah, I think it's a dangerous game for Baltimore. However, with that being said, Baltimore's defense is starting to come together a little bit. That was kind of the issue we saw in the beginning of the year was Baltimore's defense was kind of letting go of the leads that the offense was getting. So we're starting to see them come together a little bit more. So I think Baltimore will come through with it. I don't think it's going to be as easy as it sounds. I think Carolina is going to come in and get a little chippy. But I think they're gonna fight Baltimore a little bit on this. But Lamar Jackson's arguably playing MVP caliber football this year.
And if he'd have had a defense in the fourth quarter, he probably would be leading in the MVP race.
Yeah. I mean, if he had some of the, I mean, think about this. If he had some of the weapons that they've gotten rid of, that, were backing him up, and, Hollywood Brown,
Hollywood Brown was one of the reasons why they lost a few games over the past couple of years, because he made some fantastic catches when wide open, but he also had some fantastic drops when wide open.
Yeah. Yep. But, like I said, Lamar is playing MVP caliber football. And I don't think that it's going to stop anytime soon. Maybe as January gets closer, maybe you might see Lamar. You could only carry that load for so long by yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm sticking with Lamar as well. And that's a clean sweep again, isn't it, gentlemen?
That's 2 in a row. We don't do this very often.
I like
it. Because Carolina, I think Carolina will play them really, really tough. Really, really tough. But I think that Lamar is going to be too much for them. And it depends on how well Baker played. If Baker make mistakes, he's prone to make mistakes, then
Baker will make mistakes.
Yeah.
Actually, I've got, which is cool because I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but I kind of switched my position because I don't feel good. I'm actually in my recliner, and I've got like a laptop tray right here. That's why my camera's a little shaky.
Well, so you're bumping it and it's moving. I got you.
Yeah, but that's all right. That's all right. I've got NFL Game Day morning on. And Cynthia Freeland has Baltimore winning by 17 points. So,
wow.
She's on board with my sentiment.
Yep.
Mm.
Well, the one thing I can say is that since the Baltimore's defense has improved in the fourth quarter lately, they are now the second worst defense in the fourth quarter because there's other teams that collapse worse. I had to do that.
I think this next one's going to be I think this next one might be a clean sweep as well, gentlemen. We've got the 3-6 Cleveland Browns against the 6-3 Buffalo Bills.
Man, I swear, the Bills better not lose this game. I literally would make a special video just to drag them through the mud because there's no way they should lose this game against the Cleveland Browns.
Jacoby Brissett. That's all you have to say. Jacoby Brissett versus Josh Allen.
Matter of fact, last week, Wednesday, on one of my shows, we was talking about the Browns. What happened to them? We understand the Baker is Stefanski. That is that guy. They Watson's supposed to be coming back in a couple of weeks. Their defense used to be elite. Now what's going on with their defense? So much turmoil going on, with Kareem Hunt and all of that stuff. So it's a lot of issues going on with Cleveland right now. Even Deshaun Watson can't fix that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that once you get Deshaun in the office, once you get Deshaun on the field, once you start building a team around Deshaun, maybe things might play out differently. But I mean, the guy ain't coming back till week 10 or week 11. I think we're on week 10.
He returns
next week, right?
Week 12. Mm-hmm. No, is it week? No, he had an 11-game suspension, right?
He comes back against Houston.
Right. Yeah. Because they have this week, then they have their bye week, and then he's back. He's able to start practicing in the bye week. So he gets a week to prepare for that game.
Okay.
So he's going to come back and play against his team that is so hapless right now that they have the number one pick.
Yeah, so they've got the Bills this week, then they've got the Buccaneers next week, and then they've got the Browns. So um
So they
so
got the
he'll
Bills, the Buccaneers.
and then the Texans, I mean. I said the Browns.
Yeah, he said
And
the Browns. No.
You know what'd be funny? The Texans beat them.
Yeah, because it wouldn't
That
take them out of the first round pick. They have nothing to lose by winning that game right now.
yeah, I really feel something's going to tell me that the Texans going to beat the Browns that game. Call me crazy, but
It'll be the first game that Watson has played in almost 2 years. As a matter of fact, it'll be 2 years in a week since he torched the Lions in Detroit on Thanksgiving.
yeah.
wow.
So
So he should be super fresh.
yeah.
Or super stale.
Well, and you know, like I said, don't get me wrong, Deshaun Watson was an extremely talented player, very good. But to be like, oh hey, it's been 2 years since you've played. We're gonna throw you on the football field, and then all of a sudden you're just gonna go out there and start doing magic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that it's impossible. I watched Michael Vick do it.
Right.
I was about to say that, after he served that year and a half in jail and he came back, he was rusty too. But then when he finally got that football shape, he did some great things until he retired. So
it took him 3 weeks. It took him 3 weeks into the season, not the preseason. 3 weeks into the season to start playing phenomenal.
Yeah. Now,
So,
I'm just using the Michael Vick thing as an example. I'm not comparing Michael Vick to Deshaun Watson.
no, but it's a valid comparison, is what I'm getting at. But the difference is Vic got to work out all off season, got to play all preseason, and start playing right away.
Yeah.
Because at that time he was the best option for the Eagles.
Yeah, and that was kind of like my point to begin with is, that Deshaun is not going to do much, if anything, for this team right now. When you get to the offseason, they start building around him. They start, he starts working out with the guys. He starts, getting those draft picks in there that they're going to draft in April, and the offseason workouts and the preseason and stuff like that. We may be looking at a different story for Cleveland next year. Possibly. But this year it's not going to matter. It's completely guys, man, we're 3 for 3, guys.
I know.
I'm scared.
Well, here it is.
My head real quick.
We've got the Washington football team, the Washington Commanders, sorry, against the Houston Texans.
Well, Washington had 2 great games. Even though we lost that close one in Minnesota, we still had 2 great games. We carried that over, and played a hell of a game against Philadelphia. Did the things that we needed to do. And I think the momentum switched now that they put in Bobby McCain down in the slot now, and he's like the permanent slot corner now. So that's his natural position. So that's going to bode more well for the defense on that end right there with the 2 safeties back there. Taylor Heineke, all he got to do is continue to play well. I know he'll probably throw an interception here and there, but the team is good enough to overcome that. It's not like they was back in the day where they couldn't overcome a mistake. So, and I think the offense, and then Houston doesn't have Derek Stingley, so he's out. So that means, Terry should have another 100-yard game. The running game should be really phenomenal because Houston's running game is bad. They're giving up over 5 yards per rush to opponents. So with that being said, I give Washington another 20-plus point performance today.
All you had to say is they're playing Houston. I don't care if it's in Houston, home, away, wherever. Washington's a better team than Houston.
Yeah, the Houston's 5-5 right now. Washington is 5-5 right now. Houston is 1-7-1. That tie was a goofy thing, and
That tie was more Frank Reich and Carson Wentz or Matt Ryan choking than it was the Texans pulling it off.
yeah. So yeah, another clean sweep, gentlemen. We're looking at Washington being 6-5, which since that's kind of like your division, Martin. Where does that put you guys?
All right, so hold on. Let me go into this real quick because I had it up real quick. Standings.
Right now, they are the last team in the NFC in the playoffs.
So technically, right now, with the playoff situation, we are behind the 49ers. 49ers is 5-4. Dallas is 6-4. If Washington and Giants is 7-2. So if say Dallas loses today, they could easily slip down because even though they'll hold a tiebreaker over us, but the main thing is for Washington to hope the 49ers stop slipping up. And Washington just got to keep winning. If Washington continues to keep winning, it'll work out for them. So they only one game. They are literally a half a game out of the 7th spot right now. And that will put all 4 of the NFC East teams in the playoffs.
Gotcha. So, speaking of another NFC East team, we've got the 8-1 Philadelphia Eagles against the 4-5-1 Indianapolis Colts.
This is probably another clean sweep because I think the Eagles are angry that they lost to a division rival. They are going to smoke the Matt Ryan and Jeff Saturday ran Colts.
I don't know. I know they went out. Eagles went out and made some moves to show up that defensive gap they have. It's going to be hard to control Jonathan Taylor, but Matt Ryan is the key. The way if he plays, if the Eagles slip up and lose to the Colts today, I don't expect them to lose, so I'm picking them to win. If they do slip up, I won't be surprised they lose. But then you have to question what telling Taylor is going to go on with the Eagles for the rest of the season because that'll be 2 straight games they lost. You know what I'm saying? And then things could get pretty tricky and worse for them as the weeks continue to roll down the hill. So this game right here, they should definitely beat the Colts soundly, but I won't be surprised if it doesn't go the other way. So, but I'm still sticking with my pick with the Eagles.
Yeah, Martin, I'm going to have to extremely disagree with you, my friend. Eagles are 3rd-ranked defense. This isn't, like I said, this isn't a division rival primetime game. Like I said, those type of games you get caught up in. So yeah. I think that's why the Commanders were able to, kind of punch the Eagles in the mouth, give them their first loss. Like I said, it's bound to happen. One team in the history in the NFL has done it. Nobody else has done it. So, like I said, those are the type of games you look for. This game right here with the Indianapolis Colts, with Jeff Saturday, Jonathan Taylor has not been Jonathan Taylor. I kind of feel like Jonathan Taylor was a little bit overhyped. I don't know if he's not. I'll be the first one to admit I don't watch a whole lot of Indianapolis, football film. I can't tell you, hey, if they're underutilizing him or if the scheme just isn't built around him or whatever the case may be. I don't know. But Jonathan Taylor is not the Jonathan Taylor that, we all remember last year or whatever.
Exactly.
And, like I said, the Eagles have the 3rd-ranked defense. I think they're gonna eat Jonathan Taylor alive. And they're gonna eat Indianapolis alive. All those undefeated teams. Here's what happened when an undefeated team loses, they go back to the drawing board and they say, okay, what happened? What was the thing? And Jeremy's right. after that loss to the Commanders, Eagles went back to the drawing board this week, and they said, "What are we going to do?" I think they're going to come out, and I think they're going to demolish the Indianapolis Colts. I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be like a big scoring game, like a 40 something to 17 or anything.
No,
like
I'm thinking more like 35-10, 35 maybe 17, something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I think they're just gonna. I think they're gonna eat them alive. Where it's gonna be one of those things where I think Jalen Hurts is gonna come out of the game in the third quarter, type of thing.
Ooh, and then you'll see Uncle Rico throwing Gardner Minshew.
That's right.
He said Uncle Rico.
Oh man, you know what? That reminded me of something, Jeremy. So last night I was doing I was up pretty late last night because Cool and me did the post show for
I came in and gave you some love.
I know, I saw that.
And even made a valid comment.
I know.
Regal throughout his whole career. And because I stopped watching about the time that Regal had switched partners for a fourth time in the WWE and turned on his partner again. Has he ever not turned on a partner?
Well,
Regal.
And I'll tell you,
yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I don't know if you heard or not, Jeremy, but me and Cool were laughing because I was like, Jeremy don't watch wrestling. And I was like, in fact, one of the few times that we were talking about wrestling on the Sunday morning drive, Jeremy was like, "Oh yeah, I remember WrestleMania 3 in the Pontiac Silverdome." I was like, I think that was the year I was born, Jeremy.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I watched wrestling a lot. I used to, especially doing the early WCW days and the Attitude Era. I still watch it now here and there. The wins I catch it, I try to watch some of AEW a little bit. Try to keep up with CM Punk because besides him, Randy Orton, Rock is my all-time favorite. Triple H, Undertaker, all of them. I love all of them guys. You know what I'm saying? Ric Flair, all of them. So I kind of like I love to see when they turn bad. I love to see when they turn good. I root for some of them. But it's just like, I don't know. Right now well, we could talk about that another time, but I only got deep into it real quick. So
well, we Jeremy, I appreciate you coming in and showing love and whatnot. So it was lots of fun last night. We had a blast. Like I said, I was up way too late.
Well, yeah, it was a big pay-per-view event, so you had to talk about it.
Yeah,
absolutely. Full gear, right?
Yep.
See, don't even watch wrestling, and I still know the names of the events.
The next game we got on the docket, guys, is the 6-3 New York Jets against the 5-4 New England Patriots.
Ooh.
I think Salah is pissed that they lost at home. He's going to have this team fired up and come out and beat the Patriots. The Cheatriots. That's my nickname for him, is the Cheatriots.
Yeah, it's crazy because I'll tell you what, I am not a New York fan. It's not my style. But I'll tell you what, man, it's hard not to root for the Jets. When I like it when players have swag all the time, and rightfully so. They're talented individuals. I'm a huge person on, not my generation, but the generation that raised my generation always talked about humility and stuff like that, and arrogance and cockiness was a thing and whatnot. I don't believe in that. I think humility is something that people who had less, who get jealous easily, and make a big, huge thing of. Well, I think if you're good at something, I think you should tell everybody about it. Talk your shit is what I tell everybody. If Jeremy, if you're good at this podcast thing, I want to hear about it all the time, man. There's no reason why. There's no reason why you shouldn't think you're the best.
I won't say I'm the best. I just know that I'm one of the fastest growing ones because I've only been doing this 2 years. I was a guest for a year on 2 different shows, and I
Right.
started mine this year. And to be gaining an average of 20 a month without
Exactly.
doing any promotion other than showing my show and being a
Mhm.
guest here and there, that shows that I must know what I'm talking about because you don't gain that many guests per month
Yeah.
in a bad year. I mean, the Lions are 3-6. Come on.
Yeah. So,
Well,
like my point of that, my segue into that was, like I I love it when the coaches get into it as well. Like I said, we hear the players do it all the time, but when he came out and he said, "Yo, like I'm keeping receipts,"
Oh,
like
yeah. You talking about on the media,
yeah,
Robert
like
Salah?
man, that
Yeah.
that got me.
And,
Like
and
when
think about
Salah
that.
said,
Ever since he did that
yeah,
interview, they have been 5-2.
yeah,
They lost the next game with Flacco. And then Wilson got healthy and came in, and he's gone 5-1. And the only game they lost was to the Patriots in their house, and they're pissed
mm,
off about that.
yep,
That's what I'm getting at. You're going to see Sauce Gardner, whoever Mac Jones is focusing on. Sauce Gardner's going to be on that guy till he stops focusing on him. Then when the other guy gets a couple catches, he's going to go to that guy.
mhm.
You watch. That's what they're going to do with him. Because you know what? He's called A1 Sauce Gardner for a reason because you can put that shit on everything.
Oh
I
my
love it.
God.
And I'll kind of piggyback off of Gene, who does Wire to Wire for Sports Empire. Gene had made a comment, this absolutely awesome story of that little kid who asked Sauce Gardner, at the beginning of the year, he was like, he's like, my dad takes me out for ice cream every single time the Jets win, or told me he'd take me for ice cream every single time the Jets win. And he's like, so how many times am I going to get ice cream? And Sauce Gardner was like, a lot. And I mean, like,
I like that kid.
how do you do? I mean, like, maybe if it was the Raiders or the Broncos, I'd be like, yeah, forget that kid. But I mean, unless you're a Patriots fan or, you know, uh,
Uh,
whatever. I just, like I said, I have a hard time being like, yeah, no, I'm rooting against them. So I'm rooting for the Jets. I think they can pull this off. It's not in Foxborough, or it is in Foxborough.
Mhm.
yeah, it is in Foxborough, but that don't mean nothing anymore. I mean, Tom Brady's not there. Like so.
Yeah, but I mean, they're
I,
still 5-4, and they still got
yeah,
Bill Belichick.
But Mac Jones is starting.
Yep.
I just like the way the Jets been playing overall. I like their grittiness. I like their toughness. They've been taking it to everybody. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like you said, they should be pissed off from losing to the Patriots last time by 3 points. So I think they're gonna come out with a lot of extra motivation and handle business. So I believe the Jets will pull this one out. It would be another close game, but I think they'll do it this time.
Mhm. And like I said, Mac Jones is starting. And say what you want. You guys ever watch those reels that I post in the group, that bench farmer brand?
Yep.
He's hilarious. Did you see that they finally did one with Jalen Hurts having to relinquish his undefeated hat? Because the cowboy hat says daddy on it.
Yeah.
And everybody's like going, woo-hoo-hoo. He goes, wait a minute. Why does that guy still have it on? They shoot over it. It's Bailey Zappi. He goes, because he's 2-0. He ain't lost a game yet.
That's messed up.
That's the only undefeated quarterback in the league right now is Bailey Zappi.
All right, so guys, are we in agreement that we're all going for the Jets on this one?
Yep.
Jets. Jets. Jets.
Boy, it's been a clean sweep all morning. This is crazy.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on, gentlemen.
Yeah. Well, it might change on depends on the next pick. It might change.
Are we talking about this one?
Yeah. No,
I'm gonna
maybe.
no, not yet.
Not yet. That's the next game after this one.
Okay.
This one right now, we've got the 3-6 Los Angeles Rams against the 3-7 New Orleans Saints.
Oh, let me tell you why the Saints will win this one. Matt, I throw interceptions quicker than a touchdown. Stafford is out of concussion protocol.
Wow.
The Saints do have a defense that does create turnovers. Jalen Ramsey is doing his best impression of last year's Eli Apple. I don't see how the Rams can win.
Well,
On the road, traveling 3 time zones east, and Cooper Kupp is out anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks.
what? I think 6 to 8 now.
Oh, has it been moved to 6 to 8?
Yeah, 6 to 8.
Yeah, so let's make it worse. So I got the Saints winning.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you because that's why I was picking the Saints to win anyway. Because I don't see the Rams beating them with that makeshift wide receiver group they got, because they only weapon they was throwing to them. And I said this. I said, watch, Cooper Kupp is gonna get hurt because they don't have enough help for him. And yeah, he's that guy, but at the same time, he's, I knew he was going to get nicked up sometime. Even if I thought it was going to happen last year, but now they're going to have to figure out and see what the boy wonder, Sean McVay, what Lucky Charms he going to have to pull out of his hat on this one. So, but I'm still picking the Saints on this. The Rams is a total mess right now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the Rams offense is dead last. Their defense is good. But
you can only overcome so much.
Only overcome so much. That's right. So I think without Cooper Kupp, I think the Rams are kind of they're not looking favorable in this one. I'm sticking with the Saints as well.
Now wait. The Rams made this mistake once before with the quarterback. Remember when Jared Goff took him to the Super Bowl? Everything was hunky-dory. Everything was fine. They gave him the big contract, and the O-line falls apart. The defense slides back into the teens. When I say the O-line fell apart, right now the Rams are the worst O-line in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody's blaming the QB. Well, number one, I could show you statistically the first 5 years that Goff was in the league, he was a better decision maker than Stafford to begin with. So you take everything that Goff went through after the Super Bowl year when they didn't add the right weapons, they didn't do this, they didn't do that, they didn't shore up the O-line, and it fell apart. That's why that happened. Then coupled with the fact that he was hitting on McVay's girlfriend, of course there was a loss of love interest between the Rams and Goff.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Goff actually said in a team tweet that he would pipe Sean McVay's girlfriend that McVay was a part of.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
What?
Just saying. And everybody wonders, why is the play calling so different? Well, number one, they didn't have anybody with speed, which was when Goff flourished, right?
Absolutely.
Because they got rid of Cooks and Reynolds the next year.
So clean sweep again. The Saints over the Rams, correct?
Scary. Correct. Mundo.
Scary.
Who picked the Rams?
Nobody picked the Rams. I said it's scary.
I picked the Rams.
Okay, so clean sweep again. The next match, Jeremy.
I'm going to go last, and I'm going to, or unless you guys want me to go first and tell you why I think the Lions can win.
The 3-6 Lions against the 7-2 Giants. Jeremy, go ahead, take it away, sir.
This is the first game since the Seahawks game that DJ Shark has been healthy. Prior to him going out week 4 against the Seahawks, the Lions were averaging 35.5 points a game. And it's not because Shark was the biggest factor. It's because he was the biggest decoy. He opened up all the underneath stuff, which is what allowed this Goff and the Lions to flourish offensively. Yes, the Giants only give up 19 points a game at home. And I love how they bring that up. At home. Well, what did they do on the road? Well, they gave up 23, they gave up 24, they gave up 27, and they lucked out and eked out a couple of those wins, right? So if that offense starts clicking like it was in the first 4 weeks, and now the defense is clicking, they have a good shot of doing this because they don't have to stop Barkley, they just have to slow him down. I got the Lions winning like 24-20.
Oh, well, for me, oh man, I think the Giants is due for a loss. I really do. I think Detroit could really do some things. Um, I think that, like I was talking to somebody last night, and I said that the way the Giants, Dallas, and Philly came out the gate, Washington was backpedaling a little bit, and now you start to see little chinks in Philly, Dallas, and Giants is hovering right there in the middle, and Washington starting to gain traction. I say, I said it's about. I said Dallas done lost a couple of times. Philly got their first loss. I said now it's time for the Giants to suffer a L. I said this is where the part of the season start to get tight for a lot of teams. Teams that were having good records, trying to maintain to keep these good records, not suffering these losses, and it's getting tighter for them. Teams that was losing and starting to catch fire is getting on that winning streak. So I really think the Lions could get them today. I think it could be a really close game. I'll say at least a 2 to 3 point game for the Lions.
By the way, if you got Justin Jefferson, take him out of the game because he has turf toe.
They ain't gonna stop him from beating dreadful Dallas defense.
Jefferson's out. They just announced it on Fox.
Oh wow, that's a big one.
Interesting. So I'm gonna I'm gonna keep the clean sweep going, guys. I like the Lions in this one. The Lions offense is not terrible. Their defense, that's another question. But their offense isn't terrible. And but New York's offense kind of is bad. They've got the 28th ranked offense. The Lions aren't. The Lions are kind of middle of the pack as far as their offense goes. I kind of like them in this one, and I think that the Lions have just been kind of itching. They've been right there on the cusp of beating a team like that, and I think this is where they do it. I think the Lions come out and they punch New York in the mouth, and I think they make them make mistakes, and I've got the Lions winning by not by a small amount, but not by a large amount. I'd give them 7 or 10 points in this game. So
I decided on 24-20, and that was before I knew Shark was coming in. I wrote my pregame review. It could be more, but I'm going to stick with it because that's what I put in my article.
Yeah. The next game on the docket, we've got the 2-7 Las Vegas Raiders against the 3-6 Denver Broncos.
I trust Derek Carr more than I do Russell Wilson. I almost trust Josh McDaniels more than I do Nathaniel Hackett. Just because his time clock management isn't as bad as Nathaniel Hackett's. So I'm going to take the Raiders. They're due to smack somebody in the mouth.
Yeah. Both of these teams trash, to be honest with you.
I said it before the season started in my preseason review. It's coming down to the Chargers and Chiefs, and I'm leaning towards the Chiefs because they've been there. They know how to act with the lead.
Yeah.
And the Broncos and Raiders will be fighting for last place.
I mean, I wish this game could end in a tie, so I don't have to worry about picking. These teams hard. And then now there's a report that some some lady said that some IG model said that she's pregnant for Russell Wilson. So
Mm,
more trouble in paradise for old Russ. He been cooking. He ain't been cooking on the field, but he been cooking somewhere else. So, man, golly, these both of these teams. I mean, I do like Derek Carr a little bit better.
a little bit.
I mean, I like him. I think he's decent. I just think he needs a change of scenery right now. I think he needs to go somewhere.
He needs a coach that trusts him.
That's what I'm saying. He
a
come and be
system that does, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I like him. I think he got a strong arm. He's gritty. He needs to go somewhere that a coach could, bring him in. You know what I'm saying? He's not like Carson Wentz. He's not that fall apart quarterback. Me personally, the Raiders will win this game. I don't know what the score will be, but I'm picking the Raiders just because I trust Derek Carr more than I trust Wilson. And thank God Washington didn't throw a whole future away for 10 years just for Russell Wilson. Thank you for that.
So we're gonna break it, guys.
You're going Denver.
I'm going Denver. Devontae Adams is questionable with an abdomen injury. If he plays, that could spell trouble for him for the rest of the season. Las Vegas is they're not a good team. I said this and I meant it, and I've said it 100 times, and every time I get an opportunity to say it, I'll say it again. Devontae Adams is not an elite wide receiver, and we need to stop with the narrative that he is, because he's not. And the Raiders are 22nd in offense, 20th on defense, 18th on rushing, 18th on passing, and 26th on rushing. Denver at least has a damn good defense. And Martin, you said you trust Derek Carr more than you trust Russ right now. I'm going to have to respectfully disagree. In an alternative universe, Derek Carr got drafted by a team that believes in him, put protection around him, and put weapons around him, and he relived the 2016 season where he almost won the MVP before he got injured multiple times. But this isn't that. This isn't that universe. You'll have to talk to Dr. Stephen Strange and have him open up the multiverse to show you that. But in this universe, Derek Carr plays for a garbage franchise, for a garbage owner who puts no protection around him, no weapons around him, other than Devontae Adams, and we've seen how that works. So Mark Davis cares about
optics and money.
Exactly. Mark Davis has no interest in putting. He wants the Raiders to look good on paper because he thinks it'll transition well to the field, and it didn't. I think that Raiders going out and hiring Josh McDaniels was the most ignorant move that franchise has made in 10 years. I agree. I can't say any positive things about the Raiders. They're garbage. I would say that Josh Jacobs runs the ball decent, but like I said, they're 26 in running the ball. So,
and he has a majority of those yards, and you're right. Yeah. He's running the ball decent, but he's not running it great because that O-line is almost as trash as the Rams.
Yep. Absolutely. So,
and Denver's O-line is pretty trash too, since Garrett Bowles broke his leg.
Yeah. And Denver's got a few injuries. They got Jerry Jeudy out. They got Jonas Griffith out, who's an inside linebacker for them that's really good at plugging holes. But I like I said, I like Denver in this game, and I think Denver. I think it'll be close, but I think Denver wins.
I immediately went to my perverted mind there when you said plugging holes.
Riot.
I was like, yeah, so he's out for the game, so he'll be plugging cheerleaders.
So that does it for the Las Vegas Denver game, guys. Like I said, man, we broke the streak. We agreed almost on every single one of these games, guys. I apologize.
Nope.
I
The
had
only reason why I said New York Giants are due, this is a trap game for them. I think they're looking past to their next opponent.
Yep.
I've watched some of the, because
Nice.
I watch a lot. I'm just saying, I watch a lot of locker rooms and practice stuff on fan pages for other teams because I like to see how they're practicing. They didn't look like they practiced with a lot of intensity this week. That's
So
what
who
I was
they
getting
play
at.
Who they? I don't know who they
Don't
play.
they have another division opponent? Isn't it Philadelphia next?
They play the Cowboys next.
Okay. Yeah, they're looking past Detroit to Dallas.
because it's on Thursday. It's on Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, this is a short week for both of them.
Yep.
It's gonna be really
All three
interesting.
teams. All three teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All four teams if you talk about the Bills.
Because
Yep.
golly, because if the Giants was to lose today and turn around lose Thursday, that'll get them. They'll be 7-4, and Washington could easily tie them.
Be one tie or be one behind.
Yeah, because Giants and Washington play in the next couple of weeks before Washington goes on a bye, and then come back and open the bye up with the Giants again. So these four. That's why I said now it's starting to get really testy down the stretch for all of these teams right now.
Mm-hmm. And seeing the Lions had their bye. They started getting healthier. They brought people back on defense. It sucks with Charles Harris still being out with his back issue and with Josh Pascal being out again. But it's nothing major. It's a minor thing with Pascal. So I get it. So we may see the standout from Alabama that's been in and out of the lineup since he's been to Detroit. We may see Austin Bryant in this game.
So the next game on the docket, guys, is the 6-3 Dallas Cowboys and the 8-1 Minnesota Vikings.
Well, since the Justin Jefferson news broke, that's what Kirk Cousins' go-to guy. I mean, they still got Dalvin Cook and Thielen though, but I don't know.
Don't count out KJ Osborne because he did come in when Thielen was hurt and showed out. They may move him to that one position because he's actually faster than Thielen, and I think he has better hands.
That'll be interesting though, but I don't think Dallas. Dallas I don't know how they let.
And don't forget they picked up T.J. Hockenhuh.
Oh yes, yeah. I forgot about Hockendogs. So I don't. Me personally, I don't know. That's a tough one.
That's the other thing I got to say. Last 2 weeks,
I'm gonna pick Dallas in this one because they need a rebound for that giving up that game against Green Bay. But I'm really not too sure about this pick. I'm just picking them, but I don't know. I think
you got the same QB playing for each team. You got Kirk Prescott and Dak Cousins.
Oh my gosh. Well, it depends on which QB makes mistakes. That's going to be the tell of the tape right there.
No, it's which one makes less mistakes because they both make mistakes. Yeah. Get it right.
Yeah,
they do. It's which one makes less. I trust the Dallas defense a little bit more, but if you look at them statistically, they're not that different. They're the same defense.
Yeah.
They're opportunistic. They score off turnovers. That's why and they're at Minnesota. I'm picking Minnesota.
All right. Chase.
You're muted still, buddy.
There we go. Anyways, this one's hard because I know without Justin Jefferson, I don't expect them to, come out. I don't expect Minnesota to come out, and I really don't want to pick Dallas, but
I won't pick Dallas. It's Minnesota, and I hate my rivals, but they're at home. They're playing against the Cowgirls. They're winning.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Minnesota.
Because that fan base is rabid. For a dome team, that's a loud dome. And you say what you want. Look at how many delay a game and false start penalties that the Detroit crowd in Ford Field has caused lately.
Mm-hmm.
That place
And
is loud too.
I've been to that field. Woo, Jesus.
When anything goes right, that crowd gets rowdy.
Yeah. The only thing about Dallas is they don't stick to the run enough for me, and that gets them in trouble every time. And
are we getting you to flip your script because we got to get back on track here?
I think I am. I'll switch. I'm picking Minnesota this game. Because Dallas, I don't like what I'm seeing with Dallas right now, and they should have beat Green Bay last. And if they don't stick to the run, if you give Kirk Cousins time, he will hurt you.
Kirk Prescott.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think.
You could put those two quarterbacks on either team, and they would have the same record still right now.
Let's move on and let's talk about this 5-4 Cincinnati Bengals and the 3-6 Pittsburgh Steelers.
My cool Burrow.
Yeah, still no Jamar Chase. He's still out. That helps my fantasy team. But they run the ball well. Mixon can run like a beast, but yet that backup running back don't look too bad for Crapsburg. I'll clean it up for this. I usually call him the S word Berg. Kenny Pickett and Flickett, he won a game. But that's mostly because TJ Watt's back.
Yeah.
That is the biggest thing that's been turning around for Pittsburgh. The Cincinnati O-line is only slightly rated better than the Rams or what was the other one I said? Denver and Raiders. Those are three of the worst O-lines in the league statistically right now. So
I'm going with Cincinnati though.
I think Cincinnati wins. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Pittsburgh is in a rebuilding year. I don't expect much from them right now. And just to see what they do for next year, but right now, Cincinnati.
Is this Tomlin's first losing season?
Yeah. Probably be his last.
Yeah, because fans have been calling for him every time he went 8-8 to get out of there.
Well, he's not like what's the guy that used to be in Cincinnati, Marvin Lewis?
Yeah, he's not that bad.
Yeah. So yeah, Cincinnati for me.
Yep, Cincinnati.
Roll on,
gentlemen. Final game on the docket, Sunday Night Football. We've got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Los Angeles Chargers. The 7-2 Chiefs against the 5-4 Chargers.
If you say the Chargers, you're wrong. They're out everybody.
I'm not picking the Chargers. They should have beat the 49ers last week. So it's Patrick Mahomes, and it's not going to be a close game.
That's the game that I was talking about last week.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think it will be a close game if Mike Williams and Keenan Allen play. They're still listed as questionable. I think that's why they were so rousted by the 49ers last week. Justin Herbert was missing two of his big weapons, especially Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen has been a workhorse for that team, but obviously I'm going with the Chiefs. We're out two weapons ourselves, Juju Smith-Schuster and McCole Hardman. But as we've seen all year, Patrick Mahomes can pass that ball to anybody. They've still got MVS. They've still got
congrats to Patrick Mahomes for making Kadarius Toney look like a wide receiver.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what, man? So I'll say this, and I've said this multiple times, and I wholeheartedly mean it. I don't think Kadarius Toney wanted to play for the New York Giants.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Because listen, man, I didn't know who the hell Kadarius Toney was when we traded for him. I mean, like I knew the name, but I wasn't too sure who the hell he was. So I went and looked it up, and I was like, wait a second, we gave away a 3rd round pick for a guy who's played 2 downs this year. I was like, this isn't right. And you know, I read that he's had a hamstring injury all year long and hasn't played. But then all of a sudden, he gets traded to the Chiefs, and he's ready to go the first week. And I'm like, yeah, something don't sound right there. So I don't know, man. He's got a lot of quick speed, and I'll tell you what. Say what you want about Kadarius Toney. I mean, obviously, Jeremy, you know more about him than I do, and he's on my team. But I've watched his route running. That kid can route run.
I know. In college, explosive returner, explosive route runner, electric speed. I said he is a shorter version of Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
And I said, in the right system, he'd fit. When he got picked by Detroit, I said, or maybe by New York, I said, that's not a system fit. That system does not fit him.
Like I said, I don't know what it is. You know,
I didn't call it a reach because he went where he was supposed to. You know, he was 1st round talent, but it was a reach due to the fit.
Yeah, I seen him play a little bit when he was at the Giants. I always thought he was like a solid wide receiver. I just, like you said, that system just didn't fit him. And you know, when players don't want to be somewhere, you know, they'll find a way to get out of it. So I'm glad he found a situation that could benefit him, and you know, a quarterback that can get him the ball.
Yeah, but you know, kind of going back to what I was saying, every single time the Chiefs play the Chargers, Keenan Allen gives us a lot of trouble, especially with, you know, if Keenan Allen was on one side, it opens up the opportunity for Mike Williams. The Chiefs defensive backs have never been able to keep up with the two. Now Trent McDuffie's having a great year, his rookie year, minus the fact that he was injured for 4 games because of the god awful turf in Arizona. But you know, he's coming into his own as a you know, a defensive back on our team. But you know, obviously, I'm not picking against the Chiefs. I think if Mike Williams and Keenan Allen play, I think it's going to be a little bit closer than what we expect. But if Mike Williams and Keenan Allen sit out, this could get really ugly, really ugly,
very fast,
very fast.
Like first quarter ugly.
Yep. Well, gentlemen, I think it's going to do it.
We do have that Monday Night Football.
Oh, game. Yes, the Monday night game. I apologize.
San Francisco 49ers at Arizona.
Who we taking, gentlemen?
I got 49ers.
I got Cardinals.
Okay.
Wait a minute. It's post week 7. Cliff Kingsbury, in his 9 years as a head coach, has won 17 games after week 7. Still.
I still take that. I mean,
and Kyler Murray's been playing PS5 and Xbox more than he's been watching game film. So I can't pick him. Mighty Mouse is too interested in making his Modern Warfare team climb to the top of the rankings.
I think that go ahead, Chase.
I was gonna say I'm gonna go with the Cardinals on this one.
But I will say, is this the game where CMC gets hurt again because of that field?
That's a very, 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 very great point, Jeremy. When the Chiefs played the Cardinals in week 1, we had 3 players leave the field with injuries. That 3. So,
if CMC goes down, the Cardinals win. If he doesn't, there's no chance for the Cardinals. I'm sorry.
You know, and I'll be honest with you, I keep forgetting that CMC is on the 49ers, and I have him on my fantasy team.
And you must be starting them this week.
Yeah. Gosh.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
sticking with my
reverting back
pick.
to I'm reverting back to the 49ers. I'm going back to my pick.
I'm staying put.
All right. So that does it, gentlemen. That puts us at all the NFL games. That's been another episode of the Sunday Morning Drive. Before we close it out, gentlemen, I want to do what we always do. We'll start with Martin and then Jeremy. Martin, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you on social media, my friend?
All right. Everybody can find me on YouTube, Livewire Sports Entertainment, on my Facebook group, Livewire Sports Entertainment, Twitter, Livewire Sports One, Instagram, same. You can always catch me here at Sports Empire Network on Saturday mornings. And you can catch me here on Sunday mornings. Also, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I have 4 shows. You can catch them at 7 o'clock, the Washington Commanders Aftermath, Kings on the Daily, NFC East Roundtable, and my NBA crossover. So yeah.
Alrighty. So you can find me on Facebook at Motor City Kneecap Biters, a group I started when we hired Dan Campbell. You can also find me on my YouTube channel, which is Kneecap Biting with Smoke and Jeremy B, where I talk Lions 3 days a week and NFL on one. You can also find me on Fire Up Michigan on Mondays through the South Florida Tribune.com's YouTube channel. On Thursday nights, you can find me on Let Talk Sports channel after the Thursday night football game with the Thursday night football post-game review. I'm usually the stats guy. I sat this one out for obvious reasons. If I missed work, I shouldn't be podcasting everywhere. You can find me occasionally on Sports Empire Network at night. And also right here on the Sunday Morning Drive. We can't forget that, folks. We got to add that because that's our show.
Yes, it is.
That's right.
And you see my Twitter handle right there next to my name. I got it in there for you.
Nice. Well, gentlemen, you can find me at the same place on all forms of social media at CR Media 1988. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, all of the above. The main source of my content is mainly professional wrestling, but we do a little bit of football and a bunch of other stuff. I've got a Tuesday night show called Arrowhead Asylum on Sports Empire Network, where we talk about the Kansas City Chiefs and sprinkle a little bit of the NFL coverage in there. Wednesday night, we go live about 15 minutes after AEW Dynamite for the Dynamite post show. Thursday night, which both the Arrowhead Asylum and the Dynamite post show you can check out here on Sports Empire Network. On Thursday nights, I do a show called the I-70 Hot Tag, where me and my friend Josh, we cover Kansas and Missouri, or Midwest independent professional wrestling. So it's lots of fun. Definitely check that out. And then, of course, like we said, the Sports Empire Network, guys, Sunday Morning Drive. We go down the list of the games, break them down for you, give our predictions, and we go from there. So that pretty much does it. Martin, you got one more thing for us?
Yeah, I got one more thing. You can catch me and Coach Dante today. We doing the Washington and Houston Texans game play-by-play.
Absolutely,
Nice.
Absolutely. Make sure you all check that out. So,
I'm going to be watching that Detroit New York show game very fervently. I have a regular on my show that is a Giants fan, and he just apologized to us in advance because today we're the enemy. And I said, "That's right, Leonard. That's okay. I'm going to apologize in advance to you because F your team."
all right, gentlemen.
Y'all have a magnificent Sunday. I hope all y'all teams get that W. And we'll do this again next week.
All right, gentlemen. As always, have a good Sunday.
Until next week.
All right.
That's right.
Go Lions.